Welcome to Ink and Fitness. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Anthony. I am someone who went from skinny to fit, and these videos are purely educational. So this way, if you are someone who's on the skinnier side, someone who's new to the gym, who's wanting to gain results and do it the right and efficient way, then you can take the information from these videos, go ahead and implement it into your own fitness journey so this way you can actually see results as so long as you're being consistent and disciplined. For those of you who are looking for one-to-one coaching, for those of you who are wanting to do this the more systematic, the more avoiding the trial and error process style of things, the link for my calendar will be down below. So go ahead, find a good time to speak with me, and we can see if coaching is a good fit for you. But enough about that. Let's get right into the video for today. We're going to be talking about some bulking tips, some tips for you guys to really know how to bulk more efficiently and know how to actually start seeing progress inside your own fitness journey. So let's go ahead and begin this video right here. Junk food is the very first thing I like to talk about here, because there's a lot of misconceptions, right? A lot of people think that when they bulk, they want to gain, as very minimal fat, ideally no fat at all whatsoever. And so they eat chicken, broccoli, and rice 6 to 7 times per day, right? Because they're trying to gain only muscle. The reality is, though, if you're eating above your maintenance calories, you're going to gain fat nonetheless. Can you limit the amount of fat that you get? Yes, by not doing a dirty bulk at all. Because when you do a dirty bulk, you're eating thousands and thousands of calories above your maintenance that you just gain an excess amount of fat that you really don't need at all whatsoever. And so the way we combat this is by doing a lean bulk. So by eating 300 to 500 calories above our maintenance. So this way we can gain muscle, gain fat slowly, because when we are gaining weight, we're not just gaining pure muscle. Because again, as I say, and I'll emphasize it one more time, when we're eating above our maintenance, when we're eating in a surplus, we're going to gain fat nonetheless. So we're going to gain a little bit of fat, a little bit of muscle, and a little bit of water weight. So we want to make sure that we're on a steady upwards trajectory of gaining weight and being consistent with our eating, our training, and our rest and recovery. But as far as junk food goes, I know I got into a little tangent there. Just view it as a tool under your tool belt that you can use whenever you feel like you need it, because you're not going to feel like eating your everyday meals every single day of the week, right? Realistically speaking. And so that's why you want to use junk food as a way for you to make the bulk more sustainable, more enjoyable for yourself. So that way, when you do have one of those days where you don't feel like eating that certain meal, whether it be steak with potatoes and asparagus, or even, chicken thighs with white rice and broccoli, whatever it is, right? If you don't feel like eating that certain meal, then you can go ahead and swap it out with some sort of junk food that has good protein in it. And of course, whatever else that comes into it. The first thing that comes into mind, because my favorite junk food per se is burgers and fries. I love that because it has good protein and the rest is just fat and carbs. So whatever your pick is for junk food, make sure it has some substantial amount of protein in place, so this way you're still meeting your protein goals, and then you can go ahead and just fill it up with whatever fats and carbs you have left as far as macros goes. So just view it as a tool in your tool belt. Don't go crazy with it, because again, we want to avoid the dirty bulk territory of things. And liquid calories, this is also a really good one, because not a lot of people utilize liquid calories as strategically as they could. So if you have the budget for protein powder, go ahead and buy some. I recommend chocolate flavored one, because you can make so many recipes with chocolate flavored protein powder. It's like a universal flavor. It goes pretty well with most things. Not all things, but most things, opposed to like vanilla. Vanilla tastes like ass if you mix it up with other things. Like, for example, back in the day when I first started my fitness journey, I really didn't know about protein powder flavors or which one would go best with certain ingredients. And so, the first protein powder that I bought was a vanilla flavored whey protein powder. Tasted like ass in general, just ass, just pure booty cheeks. And not the good kind. And and when I made a protein shake with vanilla flavored protein powder, so I put in bananas, oatmeal, peanut butter, milk, and I think that was it. But I blended it all up, and then I just served myself, drank it. Fucking disgusting, so gross. I gagged throughout the entire time I was drinking that. I drank the whole thing, but it literally upset my stomach. I felt like shit, and it was just not a fun experience. So that's why I say chocolate is a universal flavor. It goes well with most things, opposed to vanilla that really does not go well with most things, right? So I recommend chocolate. I recommend also just looking up recipes online for protein powders that you can make. The example that I just gave there with the bananas, oatmeal, peanut butter, and milk goes really, really well with chocolate. It was one of my favorite protein shake recipes back in the day. So you can go ahead and do that, blend it all up and just drink it, or you can just look up whatever recipes that you want to online. Because most protein shake recipes will have up towards 700 calories or even more, with 60 grams of protein or even more as well per shake that you take down. And plus, they're so easy to take down. Like liquid calories are the easiest forms of calories to just ingest to take down, just because it really does take very little effort and willpower, opposed to you having to pick up the fork and actually, feed yourself in that kind of way, right? It's just easy. You're just drinking something there at that point. I will say, I will say, protein powder or protein shakes should not be viewed as a meal replacement. Most of your nutrition, most of your calories and macros, excuse me, should be coming from whole foods, so foods that you're eating every day. You can have a protein shake like once a day or whatever, or wherever you feel like you need it. But just don't view it as an everyday or an every meal kind of situation. Oh wow, I'm just gonna have 3 protein shakes a day and it's gonna be great. Like no, you're gonna be shitting yourself. You're gonna be stuck in the toilet shitting yourself half the time, and it's not gonna feel good for your stomach, right? And so just have it once a day. That's more than enough. It's not gonna do you any harm or anything like that. If anything, it's gonna help you, get some extra calories in, perhaps, and of course, help you meet your protein goals that you have to on a day-to-day basis. The only reason I recommend liquid calories is because obviously it's easy to take down, like I mentioned, but also like if you're someone who works a 9 to 5, someone who's busy with college or with high school, or someone who just feels like super worn out at the end of the day and who can't cook that final meal for themselves, then you can go ahead and make a protein shake that's quick and easy to take down, and then you can just go ahead and do whatever you want for the rest of your day. Training hard is another huge one. I mean, all these slides are pretty big tips and advice that I have for you all, but training with intensity is definitely key, because a lot of people, they don't train with enough intensity inside their workouts. They just kind of like go through the motion of things. There's no real purpose behind each rep that they're doing, and it really just leaves them shooting themselves in the foot because they're not making any progress, and they're wondering why, because they say that their eating is good, their rest and recovery is good, and their training is good, quote unquote, but really when you analyze their training, they're stopping right when it burns, right? And they're stopping right when they feel discomfort. They train till mild discomfort instead of training with a lot of intensity, right? Past failure, or not past failure, but to the point where you're about to reach failure, and even just a little bit beyond that, right? You don't want to go too crazy, because we're not on some Mike Mentzer training regime. Love that guy, by the way. I love his training philosophy. But a lot of science combats what he says. I like to use a mixture of Mike Mentzer and science-based training to make the most efficient and effective workout for myself. And I feel like it would definitely work for you guys, just because a lot of people in the fitness community see a lot of great results with actually training with a purpose, with actually training with intensity. So if you're someone who's not used to taking any of your sets till failure, I implore you to take one of your sets, at least one of them, till failure, and see how you feel. I guarantee you'll feel really good and accomplished once you get out of the gym, because you know that you gave it your all inside that one singular training session. So if you're someone who stops right as soon as it starts to burn when you're doing a given exercise, go past the burn. Go for 2 more reps as soon as it starts to burn. And trust me, it's gonna feel uncomfortable, yes, but you need to be comfortable inside that discomfort, because that's where the growth happens. That's where you start to develop muscle. That's where essentially you start to get the physique and be the person that you need to be mentally, that is going to have that body, or that confidence, or whatever it is that you want to do or achieve through your physique, through looking good and feeling good. You need to get in that mentality right off the bat, right? You need to be that person out in the future, and the way to do that is by making the choices that person out in the future would make, but presently, right? So you need to embody the 2.0 version of yourself right now. And what would that person do? Train with intensity, actually exert themselves, actually push themselves in each workout, and not give up when the going gets too tough or as soon as it gets uncomfortable. So there's my little tangent on that. And of course, the whole thing with progressive overload, make sure you're doing that. I have a bunch of videos on that, so go ahead and scroll through the rest of my videos. You'll find what progressive overload is. I don't want to take too much time out of this video already, as it is, just to explain what that is. I also recommend resting for 3 minutes between sets, because if you're truly training with intensity, you will need all the rest that you can get. And then if I had to add one more point, it'd be to watch your form. Definitely watch your technique. You just don't want to swing your body or ego lift or anything like that. You actually want to perfect your technique. So if that means you have to bump down the weight, so you have to pick up a low weight, you feel like a weakling, you feel like everyone's judging you, aka or little known fact, they're not judging you. No one gives a shit about how you're working out or whatever, because everyone's usually focused on themselves and their own workout. But if you need to go down in weight just to perfect your technique for a given exercise, do it. It's better for you to feel shameful, even though it's nothing shameful at all. If anything, you're doing yourself a favor to lift with light weights to perfect the form, then lift with some heavy ass weights that you shouldn't be lifting at all and injure yourself, right? Tweak your shoulder, pec tear, bicep tear, whatever it is. So don't do that. Overcoming ruts. Oof, this is a big one. There's going to be so many ruts. I've been through so many ruts throughout my fitness journey. It's definitely hard to overcome ruts, but not impossible. And it was hard for me personally. The reason I say it's hard for me, or hard in general, because in the past I would just essentially try to run through a brick wall, a metaphorical brick wall, when really what I should have done is taken 2 steps back, so this way I was able to take 4 steps forward out in the future. And I feel like that would have definitely helped me progress much faster in my own fitness journey, but everything happens for a reason, and these are the lessons that I've learned for overcoming ruts that I'm going to share with you guys, so this way you don't make the same mistakes that I've made that could possibly leave you out of the gym for months on end because you're so burnt out, you're mentally and physically fatigued, and you just want to give up. So if you find yourself in an eating or training rut that has stalled your progression, so that means you're not getting any more weight or you're not progressing in your lifts anymore, then do one of the following. Take 1 to 2 weeks off of the gym. You will not lose your gains. I promise you, it takes more than 2 weeks to lose your gains. Eat at your maintenance calories for 1 to 2 weeks. So this way you give your body a chance to stop eating so much food. You can actually dial things back, and your body just kind of like balances out. And this way, when you do eat again at a surplus, it really just spikes things up for yourself in terms of progression. You can also implement deload weeks for 1 to 2 weeks. So basically, if you guys don't know what deload weeks are, what these are is that you either knock down your sets that you're doing by half, you knock down the reps that you're doing by half, or you just not go to the gym in general, which is the top point right here. So you can do that. You can also knock down the intensity that you're doing by half, so this way you give your body a good chance to fully recuperate itself from the beating that you've been giving it inside of the gym for months on end. Above all, be patient with yourself and be compassionate, because as I mentioned before, you will have many ruts throughout your fitness journey. It's just a matter of knowing how to overcome those ruts, opposed to just trying to force your way through those ruts, right? As I mentioned before, you want to take 2 steps back, so this way you can take 4 steps forward. That covers it for the video for today, though, guys. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see for future videos. Comment down below as well if you feel like this video helped you out and what you learned the most from it. And once more, if you are someone looking for one-to-one coaching, the link for that will be in the description down below, so feel free to check that out. Till the next video, though, guys, take care. Much love to you all. Peace.